Okay. Welcome to the called.
Hi, Larry.
Hello. How
Hello,
we doing?
Larry.
How we doing? Excellent. So, I am absolutely delighted today for this episode. I don't know what episode it is. Doesn't really matter what episode it is.
Doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter.
No.
But today we have our special guest. It's a relatively new friend of mine, but I'm going to say it this way. He's been around me for the longest time. We've been like traveling in this circle right near each other, hearing his name, and we finally hooked up and got to meet each other. And then this year we just got to come together and radio personality. He's got his own business, entrepreneur. He's but bigger than that, that really blows me away. The best person you could be around. Just got that personality that about helping other people and being around other people. And I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell you all the things that he's done and stuff like that. But my friend John Seville.
Oh, Larry, it's an honor to be here. Jane, good to be here.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet
Thank you for your hospitality. I love it. And you said before I'm one of the few guys that appreciates knickknacks.
That's it.
Yeah. But, Larry, I've heard about you for a while. My bride had met you at one point down the line and raved about the kind of man you were. And I knew we had to meet because we had that kind of a spiritual kind of ambiance and connection,
yeah.
right?
Automatically.
And Patty, connected with you right away. And then you and I had a couple of coffees over at one of our favorite places in Brantford, over at Common Grounds, right? We can mention that.
Our sub-office.
Our sub-office, yeah. And some of these conversations get pretty deep.
Yeah.
But I leave totally like energized every time we have our coffee. It's not from the caffeine.
Nope.
Right.
It's from our conversation.
It's from, yeah.
It's the conversation.
And
It's always the conversation.
And I love being
yeah.
around you. I love your story. Because you've shared very, very honestly and been very transparent about where you've come from and some of the challenges
Thank you.
you've had.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of the man you become.
Thank you very much.
I really
Thank
am.
you. Yeah.
And then you're introducing me to
So-
some wonderful people, making new friends tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm honored. Thank you.
Tell us about how you got started on this journey of yours.
Well, I've always been spiritual. I've always believed in God, had a deep faith. But it was more of a fear-based faith when I was younger. Thinking God was very judgmental, Old Testament kind of
Gotta
God,
be a good
right?
kid.
Exactly. Exactly. But recently, over the past few years, I've really understood that God is love. And I know Jesus came to show us that God is love. So whenever I pray just knowing how God feels about me, the truth. That I'm a masterpiece, that he presented me on this earth to go out there and share my gifts, and not to share those gifts would be a sin, and be the best person I can be and uplift people. Because a lot of people have very low self-esteem. And if you can go out there and just be good to people, right, and just speak to them in faith, even before they may have faith, speak to them the way God sees them. So even if they're having challenges, I'm not going to judge them. I'm going to speak to them and be on their side, because I might be the other one who's on their side.
Right.
So just go out there and just be good to people. And I share that in the radio all the time. Just get along. Be good to people. I don't care what your background is. I don't care who you voted for in the election. I don't care if you're, black, white, gay, transgender. I don't care.
Right.
I'm going to love you anyway.
Right.
And that's just how I live my life. And boy, I'll tell you, it's so freeing. It's so empowering. Just to go out there, I say, glorify me, Father, so I can glorify you every day, and ask him for guidance. Who can I help today? Please put those people in my path. Who can I help today?
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, you can, we talk, or you see someone else talk, or I'll show up and you'll be talking to somebody else, and you see them leave, and they're like this. I'm like, they're like, wow, that was good.
What, after they've listened to the two of you convincing back and forth?
So we'll set up a time to meet.
Yeah.
But before I get there, he's talking to somebody else, because he's doing exactly what he just got been saying.
Yeah.
And as they're leaving, they're like, you can just see it in their face. I'm like, out of my way.
Right.
Well, the whole thing is,
I'm getting me something.
if
So,
I'm
yeah.
going to walk into a room, I'm going to look at everybody in that room, and I'm going to smile at everybody, and I'm going to say, how's your day? Or what's good today? That way, if you say, like, how are you? Oh, same old, same old. But if you say,
I hate it when people
right?
say that.
But say, hey, like, what's good today? It makes them think, what's good today?
Right.
Right? And
Right,
I
right.
feel like I'm a tennis player half the time, volleying all the negatives. I say something
Yeah,
good, they're
it's
negative.
true.
I'm
It's
volleying
true.
a positive. And, this and that. Yeah, but be grateful that you have, feet to have shoes to wear. Or
Yeah.
be grateful that
Yeah.
you have a
Exactly.
car. God can't trust you with more till he trusts you with little. So gratitude
Yeah.
is riches, complaint is poverty. And somebody told me a long time
That's
ago.
a good one.
Gratitude is riches, complaint is poverty. And when you have that gratitude mindset, it's amazing how it opens up doors.
That's awesome.
It is. That's fantastic. Yeah, it is. Yeah. When you've been on the radio a lot.
Right.
Basically, you've got a couple shows.
Yeah,
right?
several different radio stations.
I
iHeartRadio, love it, River 105.9, Classic Hits.
You can throw them all.
Actually,
throw
I
them all
just
in.
heard you the other day.
Oh, you
Did you?
did? Great.
Yes, I've been listening to. I'm not even going to tell you what I've been listening to, but I don't know. Somehow my station got changed in my car, and I heard you on it. So
Divine intervention.
I
it.
know,
That's how it
I
happens.
know.
So, Jane, you got to listen to the
You were-
Cadillac Man. Come
You
on.
were filling in for Rachel
Right?
Lutzker.
That's Rachel and then Renee Danino this past week. But Kiss 95.7 I work at, doing top 40. And Country 92.5 I've been at forever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I love that. So I love all music. I can go from one format to another and just kind of make it my own. But it's all music. So I've never been judged. I love everything.
Yeah.
I love everything.
And music moves people. It's
Mhm.
a language that moves people,
Oh, yeah.
and people connect. It brings you back. It brings you forward. It brings you places that you forgot.
Yeah, it does.
Do you know what I mean? You hear a song, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Every song,
Oh, yeah.
especially with a classic hits format like the River, it's a nostalgic format.
Yeah.
So people hear those songs and they think, I was in high school.
Oh, I
Or in
remember who I was
college.
dating.
I remember who I was
Oh, remember
dating,
that freak.
and she dumped me.
Exactly.
And the contemporary country format is real hot right now because it's very upbeat, very positive, a lot of Christian type of music filters in the country music.
Yeah.
And I love top 40 music too. I love hip hop and I love everything. So,
Do you like Christian rock?
but very much so.
Yeah, I do too.
I listen to a lot of K-Love.
Yeah,
'Cause
I never heard of Kayla.
Yeah, K-Love 106.9. They used to be a hard rock station back in the day. And they flipped over to
Oh,
K-Love.
okay.
So it's all the Christian music. I mean, I love people like, Matthew West is one of my favorites right now. And, of course, Mercy Me.
Oh, I
they-
like Mercy Me.
They're great. I love the Casting Crowns are probably my favorite. We the Kingdom. A lot of my favorite Christian bands.
Awesome.
You know some bands.
Yeah.
Hey.
You never
Hey,
know.
Love the
what can I
bands.
tell
You
ya?
never know,
What
Jane.
can I
you know?
tell ya?
If it's music, we don't discriminate in our house. We love it all. It's always a music,
I have music on all day long at the salon.
Yeah,
You know.
I know you do. It's in the background there. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. Which keeps people relaxed,
I
which
like
is
to
nice. Yeah,
have
you
an
know.
uplifted. Yeah.
But I think that's great
Yeah.
what you do, Jane, because you're helping people feel better about themselves. They come in maybe feeling a little but by the time they leave, they feel re-energized. They have more
They
confidence.
really do. They
And
really do.
So what you do is a gift,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a counselor. There's no doubt about it.
right?
If they counsel me, I counsel them. It's a give and take type of
Right.
thing.
From the back of their heads, but that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember that.
I even turn them away from the mirror so they can't see me.
But I remember when I was a personal trainer for a bunch of years too. I was doing that. They will tell you things that they would never tell their spouse.
Oh,
or
my
anybody.
God.
The same thing with a bartender
Yeah,
or a hairstylist, hairdresser. They'll tell us.
yeah.
You know that you're a bartender.
Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of times they just want somebody to listen to them.
Oh, yeah.
People just want to be heard
Yeah,
because most times
They
they're
do.
not heard.
they do. Definitely.
They'll call you
That's
the
why you
greatest
say that, yeah.
conversationalist sometimes. I've had people tell me you're an amazing conversationalist, and I didn't say anything for 20 minutes.
Really?
I just listened to them and let them talk,
Yeah.
and they love it. So thank you so much for listening. Right?
We had this this bartender that we hired. She wasn't really like a real technically good bartender with her hands
Mm-hmm.
as far as making the drinks, but boy, she could keep a crowd. So she would be the lunch bartender,
Yeah.
and you didn't want to cover for her when she was sick
Right.
because if you sat and you watched her, she would come. People would walk in and say, "Oh, she's not here," and they leave.
Right.
They're not having lunch. They leave it. Like, you're
Really?
like, why is everybody leaving? And then you watch her work. We had a round bar. And she would come in. She'd be talking to some person not here, and the bell would ring in the kitchen for her to go pick up her food. And she's talking. She'd leave the bar, and the guy's still talking, blah, 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 like he's talking to her.
Yeah.
She'd walk back in and go, uh-huh, and keep going.
Right.
And she had everybody going.
She's got to
And
be.
you're watching.
She's got to be a mother, Larry.
You're watching them all. I'm like,
Multitasking.
yeah.
you're sitting there watching. You're like, that's amazing.
Right.
You get them all captured, and
Yeah.
they're listening to you, and you're not even there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
That's a real gift.
Yeah, it's
A real
absolute
gift to be able to do that.
Absolute
Yeah.
gift. So you just, when she wasn't working, I was like, sorry.
Well, they say that about hairdressers too.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Well,
sometimes it's not.
people are serious about that. Yeah.
Like we don't really care how you do my hair. You know, just talk to me.
Right. But everybody has their favorites. They look forward to that. They have their
Oh,
favorites,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, and I have clients that if somebody walks in when it's their time, they get a little pissy. You know, this is my time.
Right.
Oh,
But
oh.
whatever.
Yeah, I can chip them in and chip them out, so it's great. Keep them, kids. Keep it moving.
Yeah, keep it moving,
That's it,
baby.
Keep it moving.
Like an assembly line. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Exactly.
Oh God.
So besides the DJing, you also DJ,
Right. DJ
which
business.
is which I used to DJ years
Oh,
ago.
Really?
No one-
Do
I know.
tell.
People don't remember this,
Do
yeah?
tell, Larry.
I never
Yeah,
knew that.
He's
yeah.
out there scratching.
I
you
did the old
know?
vinyl. I had the
Right.
Were you
vinyl
doing the-
going.
Vinyl. What is vinyl?
Yeah. Well,
You know?
we all know what vinyl is.
Right. Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know if this little whippersnapper over here knows.
Even though vinyl is on the comeback, you know, the vinyl sales are through the roof again.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's coming from the young whippersnappers out there. They're buying vinyl. You know, there's this place called Exile on Main Street in Brantford. You may have seen that over by Claire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, yeah.
And I walked in there before, and bam, they're selling vinyl.
It's still selling.
And it's
Yeah.
to 18 to 34-year-olds.
I literally, I'm gonna say 2 years ago, packed up all my vinyl and got rid of it.
Yeah, I got rid of mine too.
I was just like, because every time I moved,
Mhm. Right.
you're hauling I'm not hauling these big crates full of, So I was like, I have to get rid of this.
I mean, I kept some of
So-
the things I knew were worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, my parents had me before, but very few.
You
I
think
kept
you think they're worth a lot of money? Go down to Goodwill. You can probably pick them up for $1.99 an
Yeah,
album.
maybe so.
I see them there all the time.
People go to tag sales and they'll get something for $1, only to find out later on it's worth $50,000 or $100,000.
Really, for an album?
Yeah. Well, I mean not now, but other knickknacks. Speaking
Oh,
of knickknacks.
oh, knickknacks. Oh, we're
Yeah.
talking
Right,
knickknacks
right.
now. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
Right.
You're talking my language.
Yeah, I know.
There's someone in, I have a relative in New York that's got a whole collection like that, but they're like albums and stuff, but they're in mint condition. So he's like,
Right. Don't touch
you
it.
look at it, it's like glass.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
I mean, can you even buy a turntable nowadays?
I think
You
you
can.
still
I mean,
can, yeah.
Bed Bath & Beyond is selling turntables right now.
Are they
Bed
really?
Bath and
Yeah,
Beyond.
I was over
Beyond.
at Bed Bath & Beyond. And they have vinyl, like of the top 20 best-selling artists right now, whether it be Dua Lipa or Ed Sheeran or Khalid or any of those folks that are out now. It's amazing.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Who would have thunk
Who
it?
would have thunk?
That's pretty wild.
Crazy.
Bed
Yeah.
Bath and Beyond.
But I like that, the
Okay.
fact that God does not call the qualified.
God qualifies the call.
I just love that.
I loved it so much that I put it on my arm.
Did you? Wow. Yeah. That's amazing.
It's kind of nice.
It is.
Her arms,
It is.
her arms keep growing with different things.
Yeah, I started out with
Yeah.
one tattoo, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're gonna get addicted," and I'm like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Right.
I'm not addicted. I just don't want to forget certain things, so I put them on my arm. Like
Right.
I have God is love right over here, just what we were talking
Yeah.
about.
Right.
You know, when I'm in the nursing home and I can't remember a darn thing, I'll just look at my arm.
Mhm.
Hopefully, I'll be able to see it.
I must be one of the few people that does not have a tattoo.
Jimmy doesn't have a tattoo
No
either.
tattoo.
No,
No, really?
I can't talk him into it.
Wow.
No way.
No.
No way. Am I sitting there for that? Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
I mean,
Yeah.
I like them, but I just never
Yeah.
had a desire.
Yeah. Well, when I
Yeah.
was younger, I never did.
Right.
I mean, I would never have done this when I was younger, but I'm old now, so
So when you hit 30,
What the heck?
So when you hit 30, you decide to have one.
no. When I hit 64, I decided to have one. No, actually, I got my first one at 40, but you couldn't see it. But
Right.
these I got when I was 60.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, there
Alrighty.
was something you said earlier too. You were saying when you realized that God was love, and there's so many people out there. I mean, my father was a minister, so we would have it in our church all the time. And people, you go to church and people would be saying, "I'm a God-fearing person," and, and as a
Yes.
little kid, I'm like, "Why are you fearing
Right.
God of everybody?"
You
God?
hear that all the time.
That's interesting.
Right.
So and then as
Yeah,
you know,
but that's what
I
it was
just
like
saying,
when we were growing up.
I guess
know,
it depends
you-
on the
you did f-
denomination too. Sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I'd always wondered about that.
Yeah, I mean, I always think of God as my friend, and I'm always speaking to Him every single day and just thanking Him for all the blessings of my life and just focusing on gratitude. And
Yeah. Gratitude is important.
and expecting good, and praying bold prayers because I think God doesn't want us to be saying, I just want to be able to pay my bills. I just want to be able to get by. Those are kind of like meek prayers. I
Right.
think God says, Father, enrich me in such a way where I can not just be a blessing for myself, but for other people too.
Uh-huh.
You know, I can not only just pay my mortgage, but maybe the mortgage for someone else. I think that's the kind of prayer that gets God's attention.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, whether it's $500 or $500 billion, it's all the same to God. It's just money.
Right.
It all belongs to Him anyway. But if
Right.
we go out there and just help and spread the kingdom, that would be great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've got the microphone is going down.
Hello, hello, hello. Is this mic still on?
Jim,
Because I can't hear myself in the headphones for the mic. But
you know what happens?
hello, hello, Mary.
No, because it slips down.
Oh, you're back on.
Am I back?
I'm on. What about him?
I don't think I'm on.
Can we get more volume up here?
No, just
Yeah, is it there?
when the microphone slips down, it turns it off.
Oh, it does. I hear myself now.
Okay,
yeah.
I hear
Good,
you.
good.
There
That's
we
good.
are.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here we are. We're back.
Yeah. It's okay. This is what
Us-
live is all about.
Us and our
Live is
technical
just
difficulties.
Yeah, yeah.
This is way you know it's not fake. It's
Exactly.
really happening. Microphones are syncing.
We're singing.
That's it.
Oh
So
my God.
Oh man.
yeah, but that's an interesting. That's just the whole entire concept of sharing like that and giving like that and being that and having that thought every day. Some people, Wayne Dyer used to say that there's two ways of waking up in the morning. Some people wake up and they're like, "Good God, it's morning," and then other people
I'm
wake up.
still alive.
Other people wake up and go, "Thank God it's morning."
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, and the energy shift is just such a little shift,
Right.
and it makes all the difference in the world.
And plus, words mean things. Be careful what you put out there in the universe.
Oh yeah.
Words mean
exactly. Well,
things.
the law of attraction.
Right. When I hear people say I can't, I say, well, no. We don't say that. We say, how can we?
Right.
It's a whole different way. Or, oh, I got to go out and do this. No, you get to do this. It's a whole different
Exactly.
way of looking at things.
Yeah.
So when I wake up in the morning, I say, this is the day that the Lord has made. You know, let's
Exactly.
be glad and rejoice. And Father, do something
Robe.
for me today that's amazing that you've never done before. Do it today. I'm expecting that to happen today. I'm expecting that. So glorify me in such a way that I could be a bigger blessing in someone else's life and help further the kingdom. Because on
Right.
that judgment day, God's going to say to us, okay, what'd you do with the gifts? What'd you do with the talents I gave you? Did you squander them or did you move the kingdom forward? Right, so I think we have. Hello, hello.
See, I think what it does
Oh,
is
it's gone again.
it slips down, and then it turns off.
Okay, there we are.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good. So we're going to leave it just like this and see what that does.
There we go.
That's all right. This is all live. People, we have a very forgiving audience out there. I hope, anyway.
Oh my God! So what we're talking about kind of reminds me of a little chat I had with my mother yesterday. She's 86 years old. She
God
lives
bless
by
her.
herself. She's in a condo in Madison, and she had 3 of my kids over for Thanksgiving, and she's like, "Oh, I should probably have them get that Christmas tree down out of the attic because I know you've told me not to go up there." And she's like, "Well, I really don't feel like putting that darn thing up," and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, she forgot to ask my kids. So Jimmy and I went over there for dinner the other night, and I'm like, "Mom, I'm going to go get your Christmas tree." "Oh, I really don't feel like putting it up." Well, anyways, I dragged everything down, and she starts going through the boxes, and she found a couple things that she had looked, because she just moved there a couple years ago, and she was missing her paints. So she found her paints. And then she's pulling things out of the box, and everything had a memory to it. And I'm like, "See, Mom, if you left that stuff up there, you wouldn't be, telling me all these memories that you've had,
Right.
And it was just, you got to change the way you think of it, and just
Get it.
when you're putting the Christmas tree up, think of all the memories you had with us growing up,
Right. Yeah.
Don't look at it as drudgery.
No, not at all. Because every day is a gift. Every day. Hello. We got this back again. I think we do at the moment. I think I might even just take this out.
I think you
Yeah,
should
that's
just
okay.
kind of, yeah.
I'm going to take this out and hold it. Hello, hello, hello. There we go. Yeah.
Now we're live.
Sing us a song, will you? Okay.
We're going to take
All right,
this
now
down.
Jimmy needs to see this
Yeah.
darn thing.
Yeah, so we got this, and I'm just going to take this down for right now.
Just throw it on the floor for
Yeah.
crying out loud.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right about the memories. I mean,
Ding.
my mom's 87 years young, and she's got some major health issues, and I love to talk to her each and every day. Can't be there all the time in person due to, with COVID.
Yeah.
Got to respect the boundaries. But every single day we chat, and I'll say, Mom, what about this when you dated in high school, or this and this, and tell me a little bit about that, or when you and Dad did this back, or when I was 3 years old, where did we go here for vacation, whatever it may be. And I just love hearing the stories. I really do.
Yeah.
And just listening.
It's still not working.
How do we give him the worst microphone?
Maybe we should give him my microphone.
I don't know. It's coming and going.
Yeah, that's okay.
What's wrong with it, Kel?
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're back.
We're coming and going.
Yeah, I think it is that headphone jack.
All right, we're gonna do some major changes here. Hold on. Wait for it.
Thank you for your patience out there, folks.
Wait for it.
I was thinking that when I saw it, I was like,
I'm thinking I'm hearing something.
Okay. We got it now.
You got me?
Yeah, there we go.
I think we do.
That's that thing.
It's
Yeah.
that thing?
Awesome.
Put it in the drawer. It goes in the drawer.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yep. Testing 1 2 1 2 testing. Okay, so it's
We're still clicking.
we're clicking. Yeah, that's good. That's it. It's nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
But again, Mom and I just spend a lot of time chatting and just kind of going through the memory thing, talk about Dad and just growing up, and I really enjoy that, and she does too.
Because that's really all they have at that age.
Sure.
Is they, they don't have anything to really look for. Well, they do, but
Yeah.
they don't have dreams like they had back when they were young. It's more about memories when they get older.
And there's also some guilt that goes in there. I could have done that. I said, Mom, there is no guilt.
Right.
That's
right.
the devil trying to play games with you. I said, you did everything great. You're the best mom I could have ever had, and I'm just
and
giving
everybody
her.
does the best they could.
They can.
with
And that's a really
Yeah.
good point, because some people may be upset with a parent who wasn't there for them in the beginning. But I say, listen, that person was doing the best they could with what they had at
Exactly.
the time.
Exactly.
And like my dad had a whole bunch of challenges, but he did the best he could with what he had, how he knew how to behave at that point. And I'm grateful. And I'm going to always focus on the good things he did, and I'm going to pass that on. If I'm going to speak about somebody behind their back, it's always going to be good. So if it gets back to you, it's going to be good, especially if it's a family member.
That's a good idea.
I know they may have their challenges. We all do. But if John's been talking about it, darn well it's going to be good. Right?
Well, that's
a
it.
good lesson.
It is. It's a very good lesson. And it's interesting, too, that I used to, when I lived in Brantford, I used to live near a hospice. So I would go hang out at a hospice. And you're hanging out with people who are probably going to pass away.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes their family's not there and stuff like that. So you just walk in the room and you get into a conversation. And it's amazing, the conversations that you have. So you're just bringing them.
Can you give us a little snippet?
I would just walk in and, there was one, it started, well, it didn't really start that way, but since I was living there, for example, a friend of mine who was coming into the bar, he's a customer of mine. He was like, yeah, my father's in hospice now, and his father was really big in Washington and everything like that. And he asked me, he's like, the microphone's moving down as I speak. He asked me, he's like, oh, I got a brand new job, a really good job, and I have to go away. I can't be there with my dad. And I said, well, I'll go down and visit him. He's like,
wow.
You will? And I said, well, I live right near there. Sure, I go there a lot anyway.
That's awesome.
And he goes, oh, all right. He thought I was not really going to do it.
Yeah.
And so I went, hung out a couple days with his dad while he was away. And when he came back, his father was telling him, yeah, some guy came. We were talking about music. And
wow, what a nice thing to do.
He had his little CDs over here and stuff like that. And I was talking about him. I was like, which ones do you like? He was telling me about all these old bands and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I know that one. My father liked that one. We just had this conversation. Do you know what I mean? You just remember that, that you were here. You were on a journey because they're either very upset that they're coming to the end of the journey, or you're accepting that you're coming to the end of your journey. Do you know what I mean? And to have that conversation with them and spend that time with them is everything. I had one gentleman, I'll say it this way, everyone in the bar that I worked at knew that he was on the racist side. And it was always a joke whenever I came in and he was there, because they knew it, you know, and everybody knew it. And I was like, well, he's just a customer. And his mother got sick. and he came to hospice to go visit her, and who was sitting there? Me. I was sitting there talking. I was sitting there talking, and he's like, "You came?" I said, "You said she was here." I didn't know who she was, but we sat outside. We were talking and stuff like that. But it's like those little things that you do and stuff like that flips this whole entire perception of who you are, and
Right.
instantly.
Right. It
You know?
does. It does. I think that's great.
Yeah.
That is.
Matter of fact, a good friend of mine is a hospice chaplain.
Mm.
And so we had coffee a few weeks back and interesting conversations. And I'll say, when you hear from folks who are getting ready to pass to the other side and go for glory, what are you hearing from them? What do
Yeah,
they say? What are
and
some
that's
of
what
the
I-
regrets?
Yeah.
And a lot of it is like, I wish I took more chances in life. I wouldn't play it safe.
Live your life free of fear.
Yep.
That's one message I get over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I didn't care so much about what people think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Because that's what imprisoned us in so many
Yeah.
cases. That's what helps.
definitely.
That's what stops people from reaching their destiny.
Yeah.
You know, and surrounding themselves with people who don't push them higher. They surround people with them at their level or lower. And the thing is, not we're better, or not that we're better than anybody else, but who you choose to spend your time with. I love everybody, but I want to be around people who are going to push me higher.
Right.
You know, bring out my
Exactly.
gifts, because my destiny is way too important, and so is yours, and so is yours.
Right. Right.
You know, we have too much to give out there, and the higher up we go, the higher up we can bring others.
Right.
You know what you never hear at hospice? Tell you what
What?
you never hear.
What?
You never hear someone say, "Boy, I wish I worked more."
Yeah, I wish
Yeah.
I spent more time at work.
Yeah.
Boy, I just
That is so true.
I
never
know.
say it, because
Nope.
now you're realizing, wow,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
They always
Yeah.
say like youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah.
As we get older, we always say, God, I wish I knew now. You know,
Yeah.
right? That
Hindsight
thing?
is 20/20. My
It-
father used to say that all the
It
time.
really is. It really is. We
Yeah.
just have to go out there each and every day and realize we're here from. God has us in the right place at the right time.
Exactly.
And if I'm having a tough day, I remember that He promised to restore the years that the locust has eaten. It's one of my favorite
Ah.
Bible passages.
Mm.
So whenever I feel like, I wish I did this 10 years ago or 20 years ago, I wish I met my bride a little bit earlier, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
I say, I will restore the years that the locust has eaten. And this is not just positive self-talk. This is a promise from the Bible, from God.
Wow.
So
I've
that-
never heard that one.
Yeah, and He also said that our best days are ahead of us. Not in the sweet by and by, but in this lifetime. Our best days are ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives me a lot of faith. And we're all going to go out with a flourishing finish.
Woohoo!
Right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, hopefully we're going to be here for a while because we have too much work to do down here. But then again, He makes that decision, not us.
Right.
Interesting too is one of the things that Jane, where her shop is and my house is, there was these trees that I would sit under during the morning.
Right.
And, they wrote kind of like a little joke kind of about this guy sitting out there under the trees.
Mm-hmm.
But
Meditating in the middle of
In the-
chaos. How he does it.
Kind of like a
Down
metaphor for life.
I mean, John,
Yeah,
John,
exactly.
literally the train tracks here and
Right.
I'm here. So the trains are going
Mhm.
one way and the other way.
Right.
But so you just sit there and you just enjoy that little moment and stuff like that and take that time to do that and just be.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the most amazing thing. When I leave that spot in that moment, it's just like after having coffee with you or something like that, or sitting and talking to somebody.
Like my daughter.
You like your daughter. Oh yeah.
Him and my daughter have 3-hour conversations. I'm like,
Wow.
thank God for you, Larry.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, we can
I'm like, what
yeah,
the hell
same,
do you
yeah.
talk about for 3 hours?
Yeah.
But same thing. She lights up.
Yeah.
She lights up, and it all comes out, and so you just enjoy that moment. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just sit there and really kind of do it because they go by.
They do.
And Deepak Chopra was saying this, and I was listening to him saying this. He was saying, realize that the moment doesn't really exist. It's only there, and it's gone,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and it's gone, and it's gone. So you think you're going to catch the moment. Never really catch the moment because it doesn't really exist. You're always going. You're always going in that moment.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
always
It's like here. I mean,
flicking
our
away.
our lives on this planet are just boom.
yeah.
It's over in such a short period of time. So
Now, do you believe we keep coming back? Do you believe in reincarnation?
I know some religions believe that. I
I
don't.
believe.
You know, I mean, I don't judge any of that. Who am I to say?
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that we do pass on to much, much greater glory from here. You know, even the hospital, even the hospital chaplain said the same thing. There was like a general agreement between all the folks who had passed and come back, that there was just they didn't want to come back, even if they were really happy. I mean, they're just
You mean people who have had near-death experiences?
Exactly. But the angels and the music and seeing people they remember.
Oh, yeah.
It seems to be a commonality between all
Oh,
of those.
definitely.
So we know there's something there, and it's something that's amazing.
Yeah. Have you read anything by who was he? Moore. Life After Life. Life After Life. What's his first name?
I haven't read that.
It's old. It's like 30 years old. I'll think of it.
Yeah.
Brain freeze.
Right.
Yeah.
It's better than a mic freeze.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
But then one of the greatest gifts God gave us was a sense of humor, the ability to laugh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, ability to laugh.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays.
The best medicine.
It is. It
That's
sounds
what
like a
it is.
book.
That's
Laughter
why
is the
I'm
best
with
medicine.
this guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Definitely the best medicine.
I've been finding even during this pandemic that I've been watching a lot more comedy. Like before I go to bed at night.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't watch the
Yeah.
news first thing in the morning. I don't watch the news at night. I don't want the last thing I'm thinking about before I go to bed.
Right.
And the first thing in the morning, I want it to happen on my terms. So
Yeah.
when I wake up in the morning, I do my 10, 15 minutes of gratitude exercises and give me that armor and shield I need against
So
the
what
negativity.
does that consist of?
I'm just thanking God for all my blessings. I thank Him for His favor each and every day. I thank Him.
Are you in a meditative state when you're doing
In a
this?
sense, yeah. But I
Yeah.
thank Him for His wisdom for the day, His grace. His mercies are bigger than any mistake I will ever make. His protection over me. He promised protection over all of us for our health, our businesses, our family and friends, people we love, our travel,
Mm-hmm.
and like I knew we were going to meet up tonight, so I prayed for all of us. And I'll be praying again after tonight. Hey, listen, God, thanks for the honor and privilege of meeting Jane and coming over and doing it. But seriously, I'm
Just
always,
pray that the microphone stays
exactly.
on.
But that's all minor stuff. That's all minor stuff.
That's it.
Everything is a test in life to see how you're going to respond.
Right.
Everything. So when things happen to me, a lot of times I say, okay, it's a test.
Yeah.
And so and everything's a test. And if you want to rise higher, you have to pass all these little tests all the time.
The minutia.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
But once you give that little bit of armor, I could take the day. Then I'll tune into the news, see what's going on, because you need to be aware of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I know that God's the ultimate, and I trust Him. And I trust that my success in life, whatever it may be, doesn't depend on my circumstances. It doesn't depend on my job. It doesn't depend on where I live or who I know.
Right.
And God is the source of all. He's the one who pulls all the strings. So
Right.
he's the source, not people. People don't determine promotion. God does.
Right.
So that really keeps me going.
Interesting.
Yeah.
One of the things that has become my practice, as everybody knows, I don't even have a TV because I don't watch any news.
Yep, I
at
don't have
all,
a TV either.
because it's like Fear TV. I don't know why I'm watching Fear TV if I don't need to watch Fear TV.
It's all about ratings.
There's nothing to fear.
Mm.
There's some good stuff on Netflix.
on
It's
Netflix.
not all bad.
Yeah. I said no news. I said.
Oh.
I got rid of cable TV, but you're right. I mean,
yeah.
I have Netflix and Apple
Yeah,
TV, and I
yeah,
have the
things I
Pure
wanna watch.
Network, which
Right.
is all like
Yeah.
Christian-based movies too. I'll watch some of those,
Yeah.
but I like dry bar comedy because it's clean. Sebastian, folks like that, they're just so
I love Sebastian.
they're clean. They're
Oh,
fun.
he is
Yeah,
so
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff Allen, another one of my favorite comics.
I don't think I've ever heard
Yeah.
of him.
Yeah. I remember being at our Brantford office, sitting out front. It was a beautiful sunny day. I'm sitting there. I was kind of sitting there, and there's two guys that are sitting there, and they were talking off. Not. I couldn't really listen to what they were talking about, but I was just kind of sitting there, taking in the sun, have my coffee, and sitting. And it was enjoyable. And the guys are getting up to leave, and the guy walks over with the newspaper, and he goes, "You want my paper?" And I was like, "Never touch the stuff. Thank you."
That's right.
He's like, "Oh." I was like,
I mean, I'll take it home and use it for the cat litter box underneath the cat box, right? Right? Yeah.
But but it's just for me. There's no need.
It's all
and,
negativity.
And then people say, "Well, what happens if?" What happens if like the guy in Korea pushes the button? I was like, Well, he pushes the button. Guess what? You got about 20 minutes to figure out what you want to do.
Exactly.
And if you don't know,
Yeah, that's
you got about
Somebody
20
will tell
minutes.
you.
yeah, that's right.
You don't have to read about it.
Yeah.
Somebody
That's it.
will tell you.
Tell
We,
the-
we move on in the next part of the
That's right.
journey.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
reach out to those
What do
people.
yeah,
Tell the ones you love them, and try to make right with the ones you've had a challenge with.
that's it.
Make it right before you
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Uh,
You know, it's there was a time where I was sitting with Deepak Chopra actually, and he was it was right after 9/11. We were sitting in Omega, and in between the breaks when he stops talking, he's like, "Well, we're gonna go on break for a little bit, about 20 minutes to half an hour," and he would basically sit there. People would leave the room and they go outside and walk around in the sun. And he'd be sitting there. You can sit there and talk to him. So this lady walks up to him and she says, "Oh my God, what about the terrorists? The terrorists, and what are we gonna do?" And he's just kind of sitting there looking at her, and she's like, "The terrorists, this, and what if they come, and what if they sit like that?" And he goes, "You're afraid because you think this is you. This is not you. This is like a dream. When this dream ends, you move to the next dream."
mm-hmm.
And he goes, "But you think that this is you. Doesn't matter whether the terrorists come or they don't come." And you just saw the lady's face lighten up.
Mm.
And just that one little thing that he said just shifted her.
Right.
Into like, yeah, what are you worrying about?
Yeah.
What are you think this is it? You know, when did you ever get that idea that this was it?
Right.
This is not it.
Yeah, the shift
This
was a
is
key
just-
word.
This is a
The
little.
shift.
This is a
Yeah.
little. Yeah, it's that little shift. I mean, you could shift someone's day, which is what I watch you do all the time. Do you know what I mean? It makes all the difference in the world. You want to be around that, and you want to spread that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, just going out there and looking for opportunities to bless people. That's what you do, and make it sincere though, and
Right.
find something with everybody you
Definitely
meet to
sincere.
say something kind about them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even waiting in coffee line. I mean, I never have my face buried in my phone. I'm looking to my right, my left. I'm looking to talk to somebody. You know, and it's like,
Yeah.
wow, somebody actually wants to talk to me.
Yeah.
So if I'm sitting there, I'm not buried in the phone. I'm going to talk to that person next to me. You know, if the vibe is they're really into what they're doing, you leave them alone, you respect their space.
Right.
But,
Right.
but most people like the fact is, hey, you know, hi, how you doing? Big smile with them, and they respond in kind.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
And then you make
That's
a whole
good,
bunch
'cause
of new
then
friends.
there's some people who are like, "What does he want?"
Oh yeah, yeah. but I think it's all by the way you do it.
Right.
You know, you don't do it in a creepy way. It's
Yeah.
it's all the way you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and sometimes you can just or even just do little things like sometimes I'll be getting my coffee. I'm not going to stay there. There's the next person in the line is sitting looking around for the coffee, and I just like just buy that one too. And I take off.
Right.
So I'm not even there when they're done.
Oh, don't you love that?
So I'm already gone, and it's like it's like a blessing.
Right.
It's like bless them.
Right.
You know, let them sit there and say, "Oh," and it makes them think about their next moment for
Right.
the day.
It's the little things. They're going to pay it forward.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're going to pay it forward.
Yeah.
Wow. That beautiful puppy.
This is my blessing.
Right. Yeah.
We used
Amen.
to do the same thing when on the highway when you go to New York and you pay someone else's
Yes.
toll. The problem is they try to catch up to you
Right.
to wave.
thank you.
know what I mean?
Right.
Jeez. You know they're gunning through the traffic to catch up.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So, but it's those
Yeah.
little things that just shifts the day.
Mm-hmm.
That little shift,
Yeah, we're in the shifting business.
without a doubt. Without a
Mhm.
doubt.
The shifters.
Yeah, that's right. The shifters. That's what we ought to call it. Get some T-shirts. We're the shifters. Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
God, that's so
Excellent.
funny.
What do you see? So you're building a studio.
Yeah, I'm building a studio in my house,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm getting some ideas here too, which is great. But you know,
Oh yeah, we're having our piping
Right.
all changed out. That's why we've got holes
that
in
looks
our
like
ceiling.
our ceiling because we had some water damage from our toilets, and you know, and the plumber came over and fixed everything. So we have a contractor coming over on
Well, do you have
Monday.
do you have copper pipes?
yeah,
Do you have well water?
yes,
Yeah, well that's the problem.
exactly.
So you got to change them out to the PEX.
Yep.
That's what we're gonna do.
So luckily, you know, I think I'm not sure if my mic is working again. Hello, hello.
Okay.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we have a plumber coming over. He's a dear friend of ours, and he's gave us a real good deal. And we had some water damage downstairs, and we worked out a barter with that.
Oh,
So that worked
good.
out great. But I got some really good ideas for the studio. I've been talking to a lot of people that have been doing, national podcast and voiceover work for a while. We're going to build it, and finally, after all these years, we're going to put that to work. Because I could do my voiceover work from down there, my podcast, my radio shows, especially with winter coming, and inclement
Really?
weather, and do everything in real time. So that way, if something happens, I don't have to worry about all the way up to Hartford.
Right.
45-minute drive. I do it right then and there. Go downstairs in real time. So we're excited about this. And I can have guests come over, and it's going to be a.
So this is going to be your own radio show.
Well, it's good. No, it's not. It's going to be part of iHeartRadio.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm also going to do things independent too. Internet radio, podcasting, a lot of voiceover work too.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's gonna be good.
Yeah.
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 That's good. Yeah, with your cats.
With our cats.
With your cats?
Yep. I think so. Yeah.
We're losing that again.
Hello. I think
We lost them.
Testing 1, 2.
No, I can hear it.
Yeah, it's real low.
Barely though.
It's real low.
Yeah.
I think it must be the cord.
Testing. Yeah, I think it is the cord.
Those are all little things that you have
Yeah.
to deal with.
Well, we'll get this right one of these days, won't we, Larry?
We will. 20 years from now, we'll have it down. Oh,
Jesus.
look.
Large scheme of life is not a big deal.
There we are.
Okay, I think we got something there.
Yeah.
It kind of shows up. Yeah.
Is mine shut?
Okay.
Should
Yeah,
we
we-
just give
yeah,
him?
so-
should we just give him my microphone?
No,
Oh,
Jane.
okay,
This
good.
is
We're good.
This is Jane and Larry. Your show. Come on now.
You can hear this, right?
Yeah, I can.
It's coming on there. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, our kitty cats. We got 2 kitties that just turned 7 months. One looks like Ed Sheeran,
Oh, really?
Mhm.
all disheveled like Ed Sheeran. Oh my God! And one that we call Cal after Cal Ripken, my favorite baseball player of all time.
Oh my
If you're,
god.
if you're of a certain age, you know who he is.
Mm.
He's not gonna know, but
Yeah. Cal Ripken.
great Baltimore Oriole.
Iron Man. Come on, no? Okay, okay.
You know Cal Ripken? All right, good. He was a good one. He was a great one. Yeah. Now Bob Gibson's my all-time favorite pitcher.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Gibson. Oh, come on.
Yeah. You remember Bob Gibson?
That's it. Yeah.
St. Louis
Don't
Cardinals.
don't crowd the plate.
Yeah. He'll throw the ball.
He'll
right
let
at
you
your
know.
head. That's right. He was tough.
That's
He
it.
was tough.
Yeah. Because I've watched your push-up challenge,
Yes.
and your cats direct you, so that's always good.
Yeah, we were doing 25 push-ups a
Yep.
day.
Oh, I think Josh was doing that too.
Josh was on that too. Yeah, yeah. I had Josh on one channel. You were on another channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to bring attention to PTSD.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yep.
Right. And we finished up today. Today was day 25.
I'll say was it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so my next I'm going to nominate Jane. I'm going to nominate
Oh no,
Larry.
no!
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I
Five-
don't even.
yeah.
Jane can't
Five.
even.
I'm gonna-
Five
can't-
a day.
I
Yeah,
can't
five
even do
push-ups
one
a day.
push-up. Well, I can do the standing push-ups. Again, you know.
Yeah. Doesn't make any difference how you're doing. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching them. I was actually watching them when you were doing them. I was saying stuff. Ooh, please don't say my name.
Because today I had to do 50 since I missed yesterday, so it's 50 nonstop.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
these are the full length, not this, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way. The right way to do a push-up.
Yeah. So I was
Oh
like,
my
yeah,
God.
yeah. It's like this. It's like, yeah. That's kind of it. So I'm watching you do them. And I'm saying, boy, I hope he doesn't call my name because I'm like, you remember Romper Room?
Yeah.
Back when she says, "I see Bobby, I see." Jay.
I see Larry.
You know what? She would never see Larry.
I see Larry. Larry's sitting
She
on
would
the
never
couch.
see Larry. I'd be in the couch like this,
Yeah.
and she would never see me.
Right.
I was always wondering what happened. You know, she saw everybody else. So I was like, maybe I'm invisible and you won't see me either. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
won't be doing push-ups. So
Yeah, right.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's too funny. So in the future, it's going to be that. And what else do you have in your mind? What do you think? What are you
Oh.
thinking?
I heard someone once say, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right? So I'm just going to let him decide. I say, Father, you know the dreams I have in my heart because you put them there.
Right.
But I'm going to trust you because I know your plans are a whole lot better than mine. So, I mean, I have these dreams in my heart, but if they don't come to pass, I know you have something a whole lot better. So I'm going to trust you with that.
Right. Right.
And that's where God really tests us. Do you really believe me? You say it, but do you really believe in me? So don't go by what you see, go by what you know. And that's so important.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like people will say, "What are you going to be in the next 5 years?" I have no idea.
Right.
And I would basically it's going to be traveling along this journey, as it shows up.
I'm gonna be in
Is
an
that-
RV.
Yeah. She wants to be in an
That
RV.
sounds good. You
Yeah.
see the whole country. I would love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
she wants to
love
do that.
traveling.
Yeah, me
I
too.
love
Yeah.
traveling.
I miss it.
Yeah.
I do too.
I miss it.
But it's soon.
It's going to come back. Our best days are ahead of us. I don't think God would have allowed this to happen unless there was something to be gained or learned from it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was like a computer reboot. That's the way I look at it.
Well, I think it's appreciating little things in life.
Right.
You know, and we just can't wait to go back to a restaurant or,
Yeah.
get together with your friends and.
But this has brought a lot
Things
of
we-
families together. They actually have dinner together. They're watching TV shows together. They're actually playing board games together.
Well,
It's also-
those are the ones that are in the little pod, though.
Right.
It's also made people scramble to do different things because you have to.
Spend a lot of
Do you know
time
what I mean?
outside.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time outside,
Which is good.
which has been
Which
nice.
is good.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, Mom and Dad said, "Okay, go out and play, and we'll see you at dinner time."
Yeah,
Go out there,
Yeah.
get
exactly.
dirty,
Yeah, get out.
and have
Yep.
some fun.
My mother had no idea where we were.
Right. It was totally cool back then.
Yeah. And then once I had kids, it was just like, oh my God.
Get outside.
I'm scared somebody was going to abduct them or something, I mean, jeez. Well, there's that fear again,
False evidence appearing real.
Exactly.
it. That's it.
Exactly. Now, do you have kids?
No, never
No
had
kids?
All my animals have been my kids. I have a stepdaughter, who I absolutely love, but I never had to raise any kids. So.
Wow. Yeah, Jimmy never had any kids either. He's got my kids.
Right.
5 of them.
That's
Five
it.
of them?
All 5.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
5 kids. Now you got 2 more right here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. That's it.
And Larry and my youngest daughter have a good connection.
Yeah,
That's
3-hour
it.
conversations.
Yeah, I
She's
know.
she's like my adopted daughter.
Right.
Yeah. We can just keep talking.
Yeah, I'm
'cause,
so
yeah,
glad. I'm so glad you do the 3-hour talks with her. 'Cause
Oh.
that gets me off the hook.
They are
She
just
loves to talk on the phone. By the end of the day, I'm like,
Oh, yeah. You're talked out.
I'm talked out. I mean, don't you get talked out
Yeah.
with your job?
I mean, I'll come home and say, "Babe, you talk."
Yeah.
I just want to listen. Why are you so quiet? I want to hear you.
Yeah.
Chatting nonstop at 3 different radio stations, and then when you're out there in public, you're the entertainment industry, which you are too.
Right.
You're always on.
Yeah.
So no matter where I go, I'm always on. Because I know that people are always watching from somewhere in the back, and that first impression means everything.
Yeah.
So before I get out of the car, I have a big smile on my face no matter where I go. I'm looking at people in the eye, and I'm on stage.
Yeah.
No matter where I go.
you're on. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and the one place I can totally chill out and be myself is home.
Home. Yeah, I feel bad for Jimmy sometimes because Jimmy has a dynamic personality, and the kids love it when he's around. But sometimes he just wants to just sit quietly,
Right.
And everyone's like, is something wrong with Jimmy?
Right.
He's quiet tonight. What's wrong? And he's just like,
Wants
I
to
just
chill
want
out.
to sit. I don't want to, I don't want to tell a joke. But
We can get out there like that. See.
yeah,
And that's why we just
Yeah.
let people know we're honest at that point. We say, listen, now nothing against anybody here, but I've been chatting all day long. So if I seem a little aloof or distant, has nothing to do with you. It's
Right.
just that I just need to chill. But you guys can talk all you want, and I'm going to listen.
Right.
So I think people appreciate that honesty and transparency.
yeah, I think so too.
One of the most beautiful shifts that I did, that little shift we were talking about, was I was in the hospital, and the last time I was there, the surgery, something went wrong, and I waited for all day to get surgery, and I didn't eat, so I was like irritated by that time. So I realized I was taking that out on my nurse, because now I'm irritated. I was like, oh my
It's
God,
not a
not
good
again.
idea, Larry.
I was like,
No.
I was like, well, he was trying to take care of me, but as being a diabetic and not eating all day is kind of not good.
No.
So,
no.
and they kept putting it off, and no one would say anything. So I was like, I started to have that backdraft of what happened last time. I was like, oh, geez, we're not putting this off again. And I started to go into a bad place, and I realized, I started to take it out on my nurse. I got to change my whole mood and do that little shift. Took out my phone, called your daughter.
Right.
The nurses are in there laughing because we're on speaker.
Yeah.
The nurses that came in were laughing. Everyone was laughing. We were just like going at it, and the whole mood just changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, shift,
Right.
Yeah.
and everything changed. And then they called me down, and I went to surgery and everything.
Like it
was
takes
great.
one person to go into a room where you can have all that negativity and you can feel the tension. Sometimes in corporate America or wherever you may go,
Yeah.
it takes one person to go in there and flip the light switch on. and just change it by their
Change
attitude,
it.
by coming
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Like they always say, just be that change, be the light. as they say,
Exactly.
wherever you go.
Exactly. Even when I went to work and I was bartending, I'd walk in. It's about 4:00 or so. It's not a lot of people in the bar, but there's people in the bar, and the bartender's leaving. I'm coming in, so we shift. First thing I do is get the news off,
Right.
and people are like, "Wait, I was watching that." Well, yeah, we were. I was like,
Goodbye.
and they were like, "Well, we wanted to watch the news." I was like, basically, if you think about this, I said, you came out to have a nice time with your partner or whoever. I said, you watch the news. They're gonna repeat that over and over and over
Right.
again tonight.
Yeah.
You didn't come out to have. You came out to have an experience. That's not gonna be your experience.
And escape the BS.
Yeah,
come on.
that won't be your experience.
No.
But
You know
they'll
what I mean?
but they'll be like, well, I'll just get my phone out.
Right. They will.
Which is
I'll
fine.
find it on my phone.
Yep.
But it's fine. It's quiet. They're over there doing that
Right.
to themselves.
I
It's
see.
not, it's not
I
for
see
everybody.
people walking through town. A couple walking through
Yeah.
town, and they're both on their phone,
Mm-hmm.
not
Yeah.
talking.
Right. Or they're having conversations at
get
a
it.
restaurant. They're right sitting across from each other and they're communicating by text.
Yeah, that's
Probably happened a lot
That's
of Thanksgiving
crazy.
this year.
Yeah. I would walk
Mhm.
up to several tables sometimes. You walk up to the table and there's a whole family sitting there and they're all on the phone, and they look at me. I turn around and walk away. So, I'll be back.
Right.
I'll be back when you're done.
Yeah. Right.
Are you guys communicating to each other
Mm-mm-mm.
or what?
Yeah.
You know, because it's a strange thing, but it's a strange addiction that we all have out there now.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I find myself getting caught in that every now and then too. You know, guilty. at times.
sometimes I pick up my phone. What are you picking it up for?
Right.
Like,
Right. It's
you're
a
laying-
habit.
You're laying in bed. Why are you picking up your phone?
Right.
Put it back down.
Right.
Whew, that was close.
I
Yeah.
keep mine in my pocketbook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can't be bothered.
Right. Yeah. If it can't wait, 15, 20 minutes, half hour, of course it can.
Exactly.
that
What
response.
did we do back in the olden days, for crying out loud?
Yeah, way back in the old days.
When you,
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
didn't have a dime.
Or you'd
That's
be
right.
waiting by the phone for that guy to call you, for crying out
Yeah.
loud. And you only had like a 3-foot cord.
Yeah, where you go back, you go to school back then in snowstorms, uphill both ways, right? Remember that? My dad used to tell me that.
Yeah.
Oh, we go uphill both ways, 10 feet of snow, Sasquatch, whatever. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I remember telling my mom was we got her she said, you never call me.
Yeah.
You never call me. And I was like, all right, Mom, I'll make sure I call you. I said, I said, you're missing my calls because I am calling you. So we bought her an answering machine. Oh, jeez, answering machine. What am I supposed to do with this?
Right.
I said, well, that way you'll get the messages and stuff like that, right? So I called my mom. She would never pick up the phone. Pick up the phone.
Right.
And I finally got through her. I said, Mom, I call you, never pick up the phone. I'm watching my shows. and this thing picks up all the messages.
Right,
It's
right.
Like, are you kidding me?
My shows.
Now it's convenient. She's like,
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
I said, no more talking.
Right. Yeah.
So,
God, that's
Yeah.
funny. That is funny.
That's why we have texting.
nah.
Yeah. I mean, I love using the voice message component in Facebook Messenger. I use that all the time to leave messages for people, and they love it because they hear your voice, the inflection, and people can misinterpret text.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've, I've never used that.
So I'll do it all the time. Larry, I get over there. I
All
say,
the time,
I say,
yeah.
Larry, baby.
He's got me doing it.
Yeah, you're doing
got
it.
me
I say,
he's
Larry
got me
Webb,
doing it. That's
Cadillac man. How's it going this morning,
That's
buddy?
it.
Sunny day today, beautiful. What are you going to do to get out there and bless people today? And
That's it.
you
Yeah.
personalize it. And if everybody that has birthdays on
So
my
that's
Facebook.
on Messenger?
Right, a messenger, yeah.
Yep.
So you go there
I'm
and you
gonna
just
have to do
and you-
that.
and you click on. We're gonna have to become friends on Facebook
Okay,
and Instagram
definitely.
too. But people love it, and they say that a lot of them they keep the messages and they play
I
them
got
when they're having a
I got a
downtime,
bunch.
right?
I got a bunch of things like this. And I listen to them.
Yeah, people love it because
All right, now where does Cadillac come from?
figure the car Cadillac Seville.
Oh,
So-
okay,
so
gotcha.
John Cadillac Seville. But back in the '80s when I first started out in the radio business, way back, and I was a little bit bigger than Big John Seville. I used a PLR and KC 101 and
Yeah.
WAVZ DRCFM, Weeby 108. But then when I went to country, we changed to the Cadillac.
I like it.
Yeah. Or I used Caddyman.
Well, there's a Cadillac Ranch somewhere.
Yeah, in
Is there a
Southington.
Yeah,
A lot of people
yeah.
thought I owned that, but I didn't. but they kind of
The
up.
dancing place.
Yeah, it's great, and they pack the place.
Yeah.
Be
They
400,
got the,
500,
the
600
bull
people
you
there.
can ride and
Right.
the little
Yeah,
area where you can learn how to dance and
Right.
everything.
yeah.
So I'm saying how we were always kind of close to each other and stuff like that because PLR was always around, and then after PLR was Weeby 108. And if you hit a lot of my passwords are Weeby.
Right, yeah.
Well, always Weeby, and I got
Yeah,
it from
yeah.
Weeby 108. It's like, oh, Weeby.
Wow.
I'm
Wait,
Weeby.
so you were on
Yeah.
Weeby 108?
Yeah, I got hired at Weeby 108, but the day after I got hired, I left and went to DRCFM, doing the morning show, which is now the Whale 102.9. So I did the morning show there back 2004 to 8. It was all 50s, 60s, 70s back then,
Yeah.
and early 80s, and nobody plays that stuff on the radio anymore, unless it's satellite. But it was so much fun.
Wow.
'cause we were
Now,
playing-
did you go to school for this?
Yeah, I went to the School of Broadcasting.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I went there. Then I interned at Southern Connecticut State University, University of New Haven. Did their radio
Is that where you go,
stations.
Caleb?
Oh, that's right.
Quinnipiac, they have a
Yeah.
great broadcasting program, but they just got rid of their radio station, 1220 AM. Yeah, it was a great local station over Quinnipiac, and it went dark. Unfortunately, a great local station. But that's happening with a lot of local AM stations. A lot of people aren't listening to them anymore.
I was listening to 104.7 from Long Island.
Right.
I like that. That was a lot of oldie music that they don't play anymore. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but the good thing about having Spotify and Pandora and a lot of that, and also like even Sirius XM, is you can go and get whatever you want.
Right.
I have that in the car too, so I get all of my favorite podcast. I get a lot of my Christian. We were listening to a little Christian stuff on the way over here, and of course your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s music, top 40 of today. All the
Wow.
holiday. It's just great. There's like 300 different channels: sports, news, weather, everything you want. It's great.
Too much. Now I'm gonna
I know,
sound
too
like
many
my mom.
choices. Too many.
Yeah,
choices.
too many choices, just like TV.
Right.
I'm sure some of your clients that are walking into your thing hear my music sometimes. And sometimes it's way
No,
back.
I don't hear your music.
You don't.
I hear your computer.
You're
You're
there
listening
early.
to some kind of podcast every time I walk by your place.
You do the podcast. This morning it was sometimes I just go back into the past, and this morning was Jimi Hendrix again. I was like,
Oh,
Jimmy
Jimmy
just
had
he just celebrated.
I was
he
raring it.
He would have
Yeah.
celebrated a birthday this past Friday. I played him
Yeah.
on the river. Yeah.
Yeah, I was cranking it.
Yeah.
I was cranking it until this morning.
Absolutely.
Well, I wasn't
Left-handed
there
guitar player.
That's
He was awesome.
Monterey Pop Festival is playing.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
Got to start playing with Little Richard back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Those are the days.
Those
Yeah.
were the days.
Yeah.
Do you know these people? You do? You know some of them? Okay, just
Oh,
checking.
yeah.
Well, while you were
Yes, sir.
listening to that, I was listening to Dan Fogelberg and,
Right here,
and Jackson Brown.
Love him.
Yeah.
Love him. Love him.
Yeah.
All that early 70s singer-songwriter
Oh, I
stuff.
love Jackson Brown.
Yeah, me
Oh.
too. Me too. Yeah, Jackson Brown, Dan Fogelberg. I love Seals and Cross, England Den and John Ford Coley, James Taylor,
Yeah.
Carly Simon, Carole King, all that stuff from that time
Yeah.
frame.
Yeah. Music. That's when music was really music.
Yeah, it was singer-songwriter stuff.
Yeah.
Gordon
yeah.
Lightfoot's one of
There's
my
still
favorites.
some good music.
There is.
There is, but it's. I mean, it's so different.
Yeah.
It's so different. I mean, there's something about. There's an era. There's a little section there that was just so. I don't know. Some of it's Motown, some of it's not. So I
Mhm.
can't even say it's just that. But the music that was there was just straight music.
Right.
Didn't have all the anything else around it. It was just,
It was just
hey,
it was simple, to the point,
Simple to
fun,
the point.
positive, made you feel good.
that's it. That's it.
Motown did that.
And,
Motown did that.
and the songs were really short. They
Yeah.
were just like,
Oh God, when I was working at that oldie station at the time, it was like every song was like 2 minutes long.
yeah.
So the thing is, you couldn't leave to go to the bathroom, and you didn't have the trips like you do now. The segue. I mean, I can be in the studio now, and everything automatically segues into another one. If I want it that way, so I can actually go down the hall and you get a cup of coffee, or do my business, whatever it may be, and get back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back then, 15
Right,
years
no,
ago,
you
they didn't
gotta-
have that
you gotta
stuff.
yeah.
You had
Yeah.
to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have a Beach Boys song, which is like 2 minutes long, and that was it. Wow, crazy.
Yeah. I remember they were talking about Stevie Wonder is the one that did the first double album.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, you can't do a double album. He's like, why not?
Right,
They're like, well, no one does that.
right.
Stevie Wonder did the first one?
Yeah, one of the first, yeah.
Yeah. Want to do Songs in the Key of Life.
73,
Oh,
74. That
Yeah.
was great, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a double album?
Right. Yeah.
Can't you just cut like 2 albums? One album here? No. One double album.
Yeah, Stevie's brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Pretty pretty amazing. So
Mhm.
Love them.
you just watch how life is, how life rolls along
Right.
and changes. You know,
Well, they say the only thing constant is change, right?
that's it. That's it. And that's why you always wonder when people say, "Oh man, I hate change." I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna have a tough life."
Right. Because you're changing every day.
You're gonna have a tough life. It's constant change.
Right.
Change is option. No, wait. It was a bumper sticker. Change is optional. Growth. No, growth is. I don't even remember.
Right.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out who the author is.
Who
of
that
that
author
book.
is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Life after life.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Well,
that's the
well,
only
very
way you're
good.
going to grow. You have to get out of your comfort zone and get out there, and that's how you're going to grow. You know, you're going to grow by your obstacles. If everything goes easy all the time, you'll never grow as a person. You'll never be a great leader unless you've been through crap.
Right.
Somebody told me
right.
once before that the road to success goes through the dump.
Yeah.
For everybody.
So true.
How are you supposed to be a leader and go to people? Well, listen, I know how you feel. If you've never been
if
through
you've
the
never
dump.
been there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
So the best leaders in the
It's
world
true.
are the ones who've been through the most
Yeah.
crapolas, they call it.
Oh yeah.
What's that? That Wayne Dyer story that he always tells about walking down the road, and there was a ditch. You
Oh,
fell,
yeah, I
you,
like that
and you
story.
fall in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind
Next
of like the
day-
Good Samaritan.
Yeah. Next day, walks down the road again. He sees the ditch. He knows about it. He still falls in it.
Hmm.
Next day, he walks up to the ditch. He walks around it, and the next day, takes a different road.
Right.
But that's the journey
Right.
that we all have,
So
and
it's-
we don't realize that.
Change is inevitable. Growth is optional.
Right. That's
Ah,
good.
there you go.
That's good.
I remember.
That's
Oh my
it.
God.
Right.
Nice.
And it's amazing how many people they say that after they're 25 or 30, they've never read a complete book after that. The majority of the people in this country, once they're over 30, they never read a full book again.
Wow.
And that says a lot. You know, that's why most people never grow.
This is why I have to travel, because that's really the only time I read books now. Is
Mhm.
when I'm on an airplane.
Right. Yeah. And I think about all these, growth books, and some of my favorite, like John Maxwell and Darren Hardy and Napoleon Hill, the greats.
Yeah.
They're right out
Mhm.
there, and they're pouring out millions of dollars worth of knowledge, for $15, $20 book.
Yeah.
Yet most people never buy them. They go right by them. They go right to Star Magazine or People Magazine or
Oh,
the
yeah.
National Enquirer.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
And there's
People
gems
magazine.
there.
My clients are like, "We're the People
Yeah.
magazine."
I mean, I'll read that stuff. I agree. I mean, I still read it because I want to be aware of it being in the entertainment business.
Right.
I read it for fun. It's guilty pleasure, but I'm going to spend most of my time putting the right stuff in my head.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
do
what
too.
it's what you put in.
That's right. Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
It's what you put in is what you're gonna.
It's like
what
a
you're
computer.
Gonna,
You know what you put
what you
into
put
it,
in is
get
what
out.
you're gonna put out.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
Nice.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that's about it, guys.
Is that about it?
Yeah, I'm getting a look from Caleb over here.
Caleb says, "Stop! I can't take it anymore."
The damn microphones.
John, we'll have to have you
Drooping.
back. Have to have you and your bride back.
Yep, that's right.
Actually, because there's not. It's a beautiful thing to be independent and be able to live your life. It's even better to be interdependent
Mm-hmm.
and have a life that goes like that.
Yeah.
And you two do that very well. And
Yeah,
I
we're
think that's,
we got a good thing going, no doubt about it. Kind of like you and
Yeah.
Jimmy. I mean, I get that sense you guys have that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got
Partners in crime.
partners in crime. You know.
Well, do you
yeah.
do you and your wife have a business together?
Yeah, we have a health and wellness company together. It's kind of like
Ah.
it's kind of like
So what's the strict regimen that you're? That
Well, I
you guys
competed.
are on?
I competed back in 16, 17, and 18. I won the New England Natural Bodybuilding Championship.
Oh.
You know, and it's the
wow.
strictest drug tested show in the country.
Yeah.
It has to make sure your urine test, blood test, polygraph to prove you've never used any kind of steroids or muscle growth hormone. And I'm really an anti-drug advocate
Uh-huh.
in every way. Never smoked, never drank, never all that stuff. I don't judge people about it, but just who I am.
Right. Right.
And when we get up on stage, you look more like a gymnast than a bodybuilder. Aesthetically, it's a lot more pleasing, I think.
yeah.
My wife always says, "I love that way it look, but don't get too big." These,
Yeah.
the Lou Ferrigno or the Arnold Schwarzenegger
Nah,
and
I
all
don't
that.
like that.
And most women don't like that anyway.
Right.
It appeals to mainly men.
Yeah.
But we just get up there, and I just do it for myself, just to go out there and show what the human body can look like.
And do you still do it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
Really?
I'm 63 right now, and I'm beating guys 20 years younger than me
Good for you.
up on stage. So not beating them, but just showing people what you can look like at a certain age.
Wow.
And go out there and just glorify God and just go out there and take this temple and share it. It's not an ego thing.
Right.
but we're all cheering each other on, knowing that we represent maybe only 0.1% of the population that
Yeah.
will ever get up there and do what we do.
Wow.
But it's cool. But it's real strict, as far as the nutrition goes.
Are you guys vegetarians?
No,
or-
no, no. I'm big fans of fish and meat, but we eat a lot of grilled vegetables and a ton of salads. A
Mhm.
lot of eggs. Sweet potatoes, and we're pretty good. I mean, right now we kind of got off a little bit like with the pandemic, like some people have. So we
Right.
got a lot.
Mhm.
But we also coach hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. We have lots of clients, and we help them with their programs through our health and wellness company.
Oh,
So we've been able to guide a lot of people on their journeys. And
Yeah.
It's been great. I mean, Larry's been a customer of our company
Yeah,
too
yeah.
for years, and it's been great.
He's being very honest. That's why I said before. I said you need this yourself. He's not telling you everything.
Ah, okay.
Well, I love to hear
There's a
other
lot
people
more.
talk about themselves a lot,
yeah.
so because I get kind of tired of talking about me all the time. I just love to hear about other people, where
Right.
they're at. I'm fascinated by people, where they've come from and what they do.
Right.
Yeah.
Very
And every once in a
interesting.
while, you have to sit on a podcast like this and hear about you because I think that's really good for other
Exactly.
people to hear.
Yep, and then I'll have when I
So
do my
that's,
podcast, I'll have
right.
Caleb come on, and Jimmy and Jane, you come on, and Larry, and we'll let you guys talk about you. Share
Okay.
that with our audience.
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
We have got a great God message right after this. Jane, don't we?
God rocks.
Yes. It came out okay, right? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
make sure you look forward to that and tune that in, which is what the show's all about. So make sure that you catch that also, and we will see you next time.
We'll see you next
John,
time.
thank you so much.
Yes.
It was
and
so
absolute
nice to
blessing.
oh,
meet
you
you.
too, Jane.
Totally
Caleb, Jimmy, Larry, and Merry Christmas.
Absolutely.
Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. God bless you all, and we just pray for your safety and your prosperity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Woohoo! So this message is June 25th, 2019. The name of it is Heart Love versus Mind Love. I am here. I want to talk to you today about heart love versus mind love. The difference is that mind love makes up a story for the reasons why the human loves another human. There are so many variables that a human uses to decide whether they love another human. The mind is rarely the indicator of true love and lasting love. Many humans overthink their reasons why they love or do not love another, rather than allowing the heart to do the work. Many humans miss out on great love because the human does not meet the criteria that the other human has mentally planted in their minds. If the other does not fit the long list of characteristics, then they are deleted from the other's life. This is a problem because a soul is guided to another soul for a reason. Every relationship matters. Each one is a building block to the next. Each one has learning opportunities within. It is the heart that will lead to lasting love. The heart knows the soul. It is in the soul of another that knows that the connection is worth following and carefully examining as the one who the human can feel safe experiencing their love too. For one soul has found another. When it is soul to soul, it is orchestrated by God. When it is human mind to human mind, it is the ego who believes. This is the one. You may ask, how do we tell them apart? The mind love is always disappointing to the human. For humans feel that they are failures at relationships and do not trust that they are a good judge of character. After one relationship after another fails to yield the desired outcome of unconditional love. Humans are very hard on themselves and no longer trust their decision-making skills. It is at this time that God takes over and the heart wins. This path is essential to the soul's growth. The soul knows all.